Frank's World. Oh, Frank's World. Yeah. Spin the data, let it swirl. Quantum leaps, AI streams. Frank's World. It's a dream. It's the dream.
Hello and welcome to Impact Quantum, an impromptu live episode. If you enjoyed the new dubstep theme song I have from the Frank's World live streams, let me know in the comments below wherever you're watching this. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. My name is Frank Lavinia, and you can catch me at the following URLs. And with me is Candace Kahuli, the most quantum curious person I know. I always like to say the most quantum curious as opposed to the most curious person I know because, you know, I think I said that on a stream and I was like, wait a minute, that's not right. How you doing, Candace?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much. I'm actually really excited to join the live stream today to, talk about what we're doing, what we're doing for the rest of the month, and just to say hi to everybody.
Yeah, so you may have noticed that there was no show per se on the usual Monday cycle that we like to be on. It's because we decided that one creative way to kind of end the season, and it's been a successful season. If you look at our numbers, like it just took off this year, right? And this is season 3, and season 1 and 2. I mean, they're worth going back and listening to, but like I think it really picked up this year. I think it was the addition of Candace, for sure, as well as the industry itself has really taken off.
Yeah.
Starting last December, actually, with the Google's Willow announcement, and then you kind of had this, nothing drives clicks like controversy. So then you had Willow's announcement of their success they had last December, and then CES, where Jensen Huang was trash talking quantum computing, and that went to a back and forth between him, Bill Gates, and a bunch of other people. Obviously, a lot of people in the quantum industry were not so pleased with that, and then he kind of walked back his comments about a month later at some other major conference. So when the CEO of a $5 trillion company, I haven't checked today if they're still in the 5s or in the 4s, but the biggest valued company in the world trash talks your industry, it's a problem, right? Because people listen, right? And Jensen Huang is I would say 99% of the time, knows what he's talking about, and that extra 1% isn't throwing shade in his direction. He's still human, right? Speaking of which, there's a really good audiobook I highly recommend. It's called The NVIDIA Way. And if you don't have an Audible subscription already, if you go to thedatadrivenbook.com, you can get a free subscription on us, basically. Free book on us, and then if you get a subscription, we get a little attaboy on the back from Audible. So what are we here to talk about today, Candace?
We're talking about our Advent calendar.
Yes. And we are super festive because this was actually your idea. I will give you credit for that.
Oh, thank you. But frankly, it really, really came from the amazing season that we had.
100%. You and I were talking about doing kind of like a highlights reel for December to kind of give us a breather. 2 of my 3 kids have birthdays in December, plus the holidays, and plus, the general kind of year-end stuff that I got to do for my day job. And it was kind of like, you know what, let's keep our powder dry until January when we can properly, launch a new season. And we have a lot of cool stuff in store for season 4. But we also had a lot of cool stuff happen this year.
Yeah. I mean, we had 37 episodes with season 3.
Mhm.
And, and when you think about the conversations that we had back in March,
Right.
and so relevant, so exciting. And I just wanted to kind of take everything that we did, kind of mix it all up and say, let's just grab, you know, 24 highlights that we don't want people to forget,
Mhm.
and make that, a sweet little clip for every day, with something festive. And then that's how we're going to highlight what we did in our podcast this season, right?
Absolutely. And each one of them is a YouTube short and an article. Right now, if you want to look at them, you got to go to our LinkedIn page because that's where we're posting them. And here's one. Let me know if you hear the audio, Candace.
Okay.
Welcome to day one of the Impact Quantum Advent Calendar. Today's clip is on Schrödinger's graduate student, Quantum AI with Michael Magid.
So do you think is the biggest misconception?
So we basically have a little short, and then we have a link to the full episode and stuff like that. If you're that inspired to listen to the whole thing, because again, we do want to boost our numbers, but also learn the whole. Because we highlighted these clips of conversations because we think they're important, and we also have an article kind of talking about the real kind of lesson from this, right? Right now, that's the best place to go. The next best place to go is going to be when this is completed, because this was also Candace's idea. Was how come we don't have a website where we can have this all? And this is big shout out to Enterprise DNA or NDNA, who is sponsoring it this year, and a big shout out to them. And
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Right?
we are still working on this. I'm actually vibe coding it, which again, this isn't sponsored, but this is a perfect. I love this energy drink. So this is Arctic Vibe, and I thought, what better way to vibe code with this? So you'll see, we have the different days and stuff like that.
But
And
how long, honestly, did you take vibe coding that? It was really impressive.
it was really quick. I would say 15 minutes for the initial structure and then the enhancements and stuff like that. The hard part is now where I really have to pay attention, because that's the one thing I noticed about vibe coding. You really have to pay attention to what it's doing, right? It just can't be like this one-off window to the side. I mean, it can be because that's how I've been doing it, but you really have to pay attention to what you're prompting it, because it could easily get confused. And I would say the first initial framework was within 15, 20 minutes.
Right. Okay.
And then kind of it does seem to track with typical kind of development projects where the last 20% of the project takes 80% of the time. It has that kind of is it Zenon's paradox? I forget what it is, but basically the further along you go, the slower progress is. So this is going to be, I'm still working on getting the links to stuff like that. And I have the pictures, and we have, so you'll be able to click on it and kind of all the stuff you would see in the article, or most of the stuff you'll see in the article, will be here. Right. Mm-hmm. So if you remember nothing else, you should, of course, follow us on LinkedIn. But in the absence of that, if you go to impactquantum.com/advent calendar, this is going to be continually worked on. I'm hoping to have it finished in the next couple of days, right? Before we complete the first row here. I want to have it done and dusted and polished.
No, I think it's great. I think it's great. And the fun part is, like I said, you get to go back and then listen, and the numbers have been really great. Now that I see we're highlighting specific episodes again. Right. And, the first episode, again, was talking about essentially the one thing you need in this field is a healthy dose of curiosity.
Yes. And that was the first one, Michael Magid.
Mm-hmm.
We had a great conversation with him, and really kind of the key lesson there was, if you think you understand quantum physics, you don't understand quantum physics, right? So like the whole thing of, because for most people, this is a new field, right? Unless you're already studying physics or particle physicist, this is new to you. Like most normal people don't deal with this on a daily basis. Most people don't study this, right? And it's hard stuff. The math is pretty wacky. The concepts behind it are so counterintuitive to how we experience the world. At the what they call it, the mesometric level. I think that was the SAT word for the day, right? So the idea is that, you know, there's three kind of sizes of things, right? There's the world we experience, right? That's meso is middle, metric is measure, right? So there's that Jesuit education where they forced me to study Latin and Greek, paying off this many years later.
There you go.
And then there's kind of like what happens at the scale of planets and black holes and galaxies, right? It's slightly different than what we would experience. And then there's also at the subatomic level, right? And those words I forget, but basically, you know, so the world we experience on a day-to-day basis is a very different world than you would experience in quantum space. Although as we've kind of progressed through the season, particularly in the last couple episodes, where we talk about quantum chemistry and quantum biology, well, maybe, just maybe, some of the things we experience in our biology, in our lives, do have some kind of underlying quantum explanation, right?
Oh, absolutely. That's why I got so excited when we were talking to quantum biologists, and then when we were talking with Natasha, and she's a quantum chemist.
Yeah.
You know, it's in the very molecules, in the very atoms, the very fundamental pieces of our universe, of who we are in fact quantum and run in a quantum way. And the fact that nature has existed and there are so many elements of quantum, you know, that are going on in nature and have been going on far longer than we have been knowledgeable that that's actually what is happening. Right?
Right. And we've had a lot of great conversations about that. So I didn't tell you this yet, Candace, because it just happened yesterday. So inside my day job, I work at Red Hat, right? And that explains why there's a fedora over there. We have a quantum interest group, like internally in the company, and one of the organizers of it, she's doing a grad program actually in quantum computing.
Okay.
And part of her assignment is to talk to people in industry. And then she's like, can you talk to me about, you know, like what she asked me, like why we started the podcast and stuff like that. It was an interesting conversation. And it was, I was telling her about, like, you know, quantum biology, right? Like, you know, that, you know, the fact that almonds smells like cyanide, right? Kind of an odd thing for them to smell the same. And one of the leading theories, I don't know if it was ever confirmed, but the outer electron shell for both those chemicals, I forget what it's called, but the thing that makes almonds smell like almonds, right? Whatever that is, has the same electron shell shape as cyanide, right? Obviously, two very different, otherwise different chemical structures with radically different effects. But the fact that, you know, our noses kind of see them as similar kind of says something about our sense of smell. Right. And that maybe it is somehow measuring quantum effects, which then has all kinds of other implications for, you know, the whole notion that we don't experience quantum kind of realities at, you know, mesometric scale. There's that SAT word again, kids.
But it's true. It's like, you know, this, and also we talked about how this sense of smell, eyesight, you know,
Yep.
perceiving of color on wavelengths. You know, we talked about taste,
Yep.
You know, you have those people who, like me, who think that cilantro tastes like soap.
Oh, really? Interesting.
I
It's a genetic thing. Like there's literally like a gene that people have that turns that on or turns that off, supposedly.
and it's funny because you know I have it, my husband has it, and therefore both of our children have it. Everybody thinks cilantro tastes like soap here. So,
Interesting.
but you know, again, the fact that some people have it and other people don't, and that's a whole other kind of quantum reality, which is just fantastic.
Right,
Fantastic.
right. And I think that's exciting because in the virtual green room for this conversation, you were talking about, we're not going to reveal too much, but there's a quantum sensing startup you were talking with.
Oh, so cool.
And you were like, oh, I just talking to a geologist, and I'm like, geologist, it's got to be some kind of quantum sensing thing. And you were like, yes, that's exactly what they're doing, right? Because if you could detect whether it's, you know, oil, gold, you know, other things that are of value, um I'll never forget the first quantum conference I went to, which was earlier this year. um I went to, and one of the speakers was like, you know, how many people here are into quantum sensing? And you know, nobody raised their hands. And he's like, I'm really surprised at that because of all the implications that you can have with quantum sensing, whether it's, you know, drone detection, stealth, defeating stealth systems, or submarine detection. He's like, I'm in DC. I would expect that there would be a lot more of that. He goes, but you know, where you're really seeing a lot of this, at least in the public sphere, is, you know, oil discovery, you know, kind of like detecting stuff underground. It's an interesting field, and I think that we are really on the cusp of something big in that world.
Oh, I think so. And the other thing that is a very public thing is there's a place in Sherbrooke, Quebec called QV Labs. And actually, the gentleman that I spoke to yesterday said, you know, you need to call up there and you need to go take yourself a little trip to Sherbrooke and go see this place. And it's an incubator for
Really
quantum startups. Hmm.
interesting. You should give him a free copy of our book.
Absolutely, the Quantum Sales Playbook. Yes.
And I will say, like, anyone who is a nice, you like the Fordham reference, Dave Whitney. Holy moly! I went to school with this guy. Hey,
That's
Dave.
excellent.
That's freaking awesome, man. Fordham represent, baby. Yeah, Dave's an OG computer guy. He's actually, fun story. So I know this is a sidetrack, but Dave could tell you this. I've been sidetracking my entire life. It was his Sun Spark workstation that I first saw Mosaic running. And for kids today, anyone born in the 90s will know what Netscape is, right? But if you don't know what Netscape is, I feel really old. But if you don't know, if you don't know, it was basically the first graphical browser. Basically, I saw on his Spark Netscape thing, and I remember having a whole conversation with him, like, how do I get this on my Macintosh or my PC back in my place? And the answer was not what I wanted. It was it was a lot of money, basically, at least a lot of 1990s money. But dude, that's awesome, man. That's
I told
cool.
you I was on the internet for the first time, you know, before AOL. I have a really good friend. Shout out to Scott Nannis, who was, you know, an Apple genius before there was a Genius Bar. You know what I'm saying?
We're old enough to remember before there were Apple retail stores. Let that
Right?
sink in, kids.
Yeah, that's and he took my phone that I had at Columbia and he jerry rigged that into my computer, and the phone was a modem.
Oh yeah, that would have been an engineering feat. This is probably late 90s, I would say, right?
Yes, exactly. And that was just so exciting. So like I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, what's the internet? Like, you know, everything is, you know, black and green, you know. It's really just an eye opener to what was possible, right? Remember I
Yeah.
told you, like, I emailed my dad and he called me up and he's like, "Oh my God, you're gonna get in trouble."
Oh, that's right,
Oh,
because you emailed him.
yes, he's like, "How did you
Yeah.
find out my email address?" I was like, "I don't know. I just kind of figured it's your name at IBM, and there you go." And then he's like, "I only talk to the military. Like, what are you doing emailing me?" I'm like, oh, "Okay, I just figured out how. How about we be impressed?"
Right. Well, that was the vibe back then. Yeah, Dave. I'll hit you up on LinkedIn. I'll message you later because I don't think I have any of your phone numbers because I still have my Jersey phone number from when I lived in Jersey, and it's been like 21 years. Which
go.
again, speaking of feeling old, um,
I have my Westchester. I have my
that's
New
where you still
York
have
cell
your
phone number.
New York thing. Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
have
yeah.
my New York cell phone number that I've now made my international cell phone number because once a New Yorker, always a New Yorker. Like
That's
born and
true.
bred, right? I walk
Yeah.
around Montreal, Quebec, and then I start talking, and they're like, "Who are you?" And I'm like,
Oh
I don't
God,
even know.
when I speak French, it's really butchered because my grandfather was from Montreal and he was a country boy from, I guess it was still kind of rural, at least where he was from. So it's kind of like country boy French Canadian plus an American New York accent thrown on top of that. Because he never really taught my dad and never really taught me. I know all the bad words though, because he would always fight with he had this one lawnmower. He lived in Staten Island where he actually did have a lawn, but the lawn was maybe 20 feet by 6 feet.
Okay.
I don't know what that, I know what that is in freedom units, but I don't know what that is in metric, but it's not very big. And it took him you didn't really even need a mower to do it. Like you could do like a push mower, but no, he bought this thing I guess in the 50s. And he kept that thing running barely. So he would take him like half an hour to get the thing started. And then 2 minutes to actually mow like the small piece of grass.
Right. He's proud. He should be proud.
And but during those 30 minutes, you would get a lesson in French Canadian profanity that
It's all
rarely.
religious. It's all
Oh,
religious.
it's 90% religious. So it's funny, right? So I remember hearing the word tabernacle said, and it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
And the nun said it in church, right? Because I went
Mm.
to Catholic school, and I was just like, did she just say? I mean, it's like the equivalent of the F word, basically, or other words that I'm not going to say on the stream.
Right.
And I remember thinking and there were not a lot of other French Canadian kids in my neighborhood. In fact, there were none, right? So I look around, and from my ears, I hear basically something like the F word or another bad word. That equivalent of offense said by a nun in church.
Right.
And I'm looking around, and I'm the only one who noticed, which really does a weird thing to a fifth grader's head. Where,
right? Yeah. That's
did I
about
not
the
hear
same
that?
age where all the kids, and I can't say it on the stream, but they all learn how to say seal.
Oh,
And
yeah.
seal when it really sounds like the F curse. And they all walk around and they're in hilarity that they learn that in school, right? I keep on seeing so you see all my boxes that are behind me. I noticed that, but that's Christmas.
I
So
was gonna say, yeah.
that's Chris. That will also end kid's birthday. Like you talked about birthday. My son is born December 30th.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Right. So he's like, every year I get jabbed. You put the Christmas and the Hanukkah and the birthday all together. And I'm like, well, you want like 3 little slippy things, or you want like a nice, really good present, right?
Right. Yeah, and plus a birthday, So Dave points out that the 917 area code and the 212 are coveted. That is true, man.
Okay, I have a 914.
Right. Well, that's Westchester.
coveted.
Right? That's a Westchester thing. But there's a whole bunch of new area codes that have been added since I left. There's and I see them. I don't know what the hell is that. And then you can ask. I don't want to say her name, but there's a voice assistant from Amazon. If I say her name, you can always ask her, and she'll tell you. so Dave may not know this, but I have since I've last spoke to Dave, I now have 3 kids, all boys, and 2 of those boys have birthdays in December. So basically, the back half of December is a complete blowout.
Right.
So which is good because I always save my PTO for that.
Yeah, and you can make it special. You just, it's that's why I tell everybody, like, I'm done shopping, and I'm very, very
Right.
proud of that. Like, I've gotten all my shopping done. I make sure that I am not buying anything else after December 1st because I have a daughter who's born in mid-October, right? So mid-November. So once like
Oh,
Halloween
you kind of like
hits,
get into that birthday gift shopping thing. Yeah, I
I
have
got
not
into
done
it young,
anything.
right? And I'm
I
like,
have not done anything this year yet. So,
that's why there's
although, what?
that's why there's the boxes behind me. So
That's where the box is behind you. Yeah, I know my gift is there. That's the DGX Spark. I'm not even going to ask for anything else for Christmas. But I typically panic around when we get to December 10th. I'm like, uh-oh. That's usually which is better than December 24th, right? So,
okay,
baby steps.
great.
Baby
Well,
steps.
you've probably already ordered it if maybe you're just waiting for it to come in the mail. But
Yeah. I actually, this is a fun story. So someone at work, shout out to you, Jonathan, had sent me NVIDIA. I should probably pull it up, but NVIDIA has a deal on some of their robotic stuff, and my oldest is really into
Ooh.
robotics. I basically told him, I'm like, oh, well, I probably should have read the email and the website more thoroughly because the first item on the list is like a $2,000-$3,000 thing. Discounted from $5,000, so
Okay.
but they have like the Jetson Nanos and stuff like that, which you can plug into a robotics unit. I was like, do you want, if you want something for that? But he's only interested in stuff that applies to the robotics competitions,
Okay.
and I don't think that qualifies. But I'm like, dude, if you want it,
Right.
like, your birthday and Christmas are here, and it's on sale, right? So,
Right.
but
that's cool that he wants to do the competitions.
I
I think
know.
it's really interesting, and the reason I've always thought that was really
Oh,
compelling.
all right. I'm gonna be the dad that
Oh.
that brags on his kid. He's the captain of one of their teams now.
Oh, that's
So
wonderful.
I'm like,
Frank, that's fantastic. This is absolutely fantastic. But I wanted to mention is that I had spoken to 2 people who were going to be airing the episodes in season 4, and both of them got their opportunities to get involved in quantum companies through hackathons.
yep.
And that is very much how some of these companies are looking for their talent. So it's great that he wants to start kind of competing in that arena. That's very exciting. It's a very exciting and very fulfilling, pathway for sure. That's great. That's great.
I am looking because I have this shirt on.
Quantum.
I am looking, and apparently it was removed from the. Oh no, it's not totally removed. Let's see. It is an Amazon merch, but I'm looking for the US one.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. Here's the US one. I will share that. There you go.
Oh, okay.
Edit. I will put a link in the description for that. But we do kind of have a merch store. Do we? Data driven. I need to clean this up, actually. This is one of my designs. Coax is for boomers.
Okay.
I had a whole discussion when we bought this house that oh yeah, Dave, I also, since we last spoke, I moved to a different state. Actually several times. But
Yeah, you've moved several times since Fordham, for sure.
Yeah, internationally too. Let's see. I don't know where I was going with this, but
Yes,
we
we've
do
got
have
you
a merch
distracted.
store, and I do have to organize it. Shame on me for not getting it done by this, but I do love my quantum beltway shirt. This is what it was originally designed for. And I know you have to go soon, so as do I. I have a 80-page training document I have to review and fact check. I also do have to Vibe Code. They're not sponsoring us, but good Lord, I wish they would, man. Just send me
Right?
a case. I'll be happy.
Yeah, we should talk to them.
Um, and yeah, so
Well, so
check it out.
again, look, we really we want to do something special to highlight what we were able to do in 2025.
Yep.
And we know everybody's super busy in December wrapping up their year, but you know what? It's also just a really great time to just, take a little break and say, let me learn a little quick something. Let me hear what they're talking about. I mean, I have learned so much.
Seriously, and that's what the shout out to you, to my fellow Red Hatter, Anne. But like that was the thing I told her. I was like, like honestly, like I learn so much from each episode that I get so much out of it. It's just like I can't help but do it now.
Yeah, and I'm really excited to take everything that I learned and then adapt it into the next season because it's just really really exciting. It's really is, and it's so relevant. And that's why when you're seeing, everyone, it took a while to start seeing AI on the news, right? And AI is on the news every night. And now, it's not every night, but now you're seeing AI and quantum. And so it's really exciting to see, the progression and the augmentation of what's
Right.
happening, in the whole ecosystem. It's just fascinating stuff. So I'm really, really glad that we did this. I'm really
Yeah, 100%. So go check it out. Join us now. Follow us on LinkedIn. We post that article every day. If you're not already following me on LinkedIn, please do.
subscribe.
And if you're watching this on YouTube, Twitch, or X, be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And that's
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 our
all I
holiday
got.
special, right?
it's a holiday special. Like
There you go.
no singing Wookiees or anything like that. That's a deep cut from the 70s. I don't think kids today will get, but yeah, that's our holiday special. That's what we'll call this episode on the podcast.
Okay.
Impact Quantum Holiday Special. Maybe
Ooh.
next year we'll have a singing routine. I don't know.
We can only hope. We can only
You can
hope.
only hope, or fear. I don't know.
Exactly, right? Exactly.
All right, I'll play out the outro animation and catch you later.
You got it. Thank you so much.